Welcome. Thank you for finding my channel here on the YouTube. Here we are looking at model trains of HO scale, as well as all supporting modeling techniques, weathering, all the things that you may want to do with your models, even a track layout. We'll look at that. I'm Dennis, by the way, and sometimes Oliver, my cat, will poke his head into the lab. And so let's talk a little bit about what my channel is going to be about. This is the introductory. I will try and keep it short and sweet so that we can delve right into what in our next video, what we're doing, which is the main project. And starting this series will be an entry into the National Model Railroad build-off for Walters. And my particular pick was a mechanical reefer car. It's a yellow Burlington Northern, and we'll talk about that in 1 second. Why did I get into trains? Well, it happened many years when I was a young kid. I inherited just 2 boxes of huge boxes of American Flyer. Very well played with. I mean, they were well used. My grandpa and I'd get one of the locomotives running, and then it wouldn't run. I was fortunate to have an entire room to myself to set the track up in with the switch track, log loaders, things of this nature. I was just very fortunate in that. The house we lived in was an old granite house out in the woods in South Carolina. Very interesting house. It was old, and we just rented. But it was one of these old houses with big rooms, and so I had one room we didn't heat during the winter that I could use, and so I used it for the trains, and during the summer, and it was fun. It was quite fun. Anyways, so that's where I got into it, and then of course my granny and grandpa bought me a Lionel set, box set, and but that American Flyer always intrigued me, switch track and stuff like that. So, well, years later, that all went to the wayside, and years later I bought a house, and lo and behold, somewhere I found a box set of a Theron. It was a Union Pacific Theron HO scale, and this is the particular locomotive that came in the unit, in the box set. And I've still got all the cars and everything, and I'm starting to detail it out though. I'm adding a few items to it. I'm even thinking about cutting these out and adding the actual numbers there to run. So I have a kit to put our glass in, as well as the rails. That is right here. So that's going to be something we're going to do later too, in one of the series. That was one of the things that got me. I'd set it up for Christmas, around the Christmas tree, box it up and go back with all ornaments in the attic. Well, moved back to Louisiana. Beautiful day here, by the way. And my grandpa had a set of Lifelike, and so I set it up and I added to it because Mom told me how much he always wanted to add to it and things of this nature. So I started adding to it, and his particular track is like this. So I ended up with quite a box, getting box loads of these with switch track off eBay and adding to his set a little bit, but I put his set to the side. His I've actually got on display in the library. Well, I call it the library because we got books everywhere in there, and Mom had put bookshelves. It was the front living room. So, but books are everywhere, so to me, it's the library. And, well, I liked the Theron. So I started buying stuff for myself. And I ended up buying a box of broken down locomotives, and got this. It's a actual A and B unit. Oops. That are powered. Both are powered. And I'm trying to get them matched, working on that. Close. I'm glazing. Hey, we're going to go through and service these again. And we'll do that. That'll be one of the videos of servicing out some stuff. I have gotten into I like the green of the Burlington Northern, so I've been buying up here and there when I can a locomotive or two to run, have a full Burlington line. Then, of course, my mom, very sweet, bought me a brand new locomotive. Never had one other than back when I was a kid, the Lionel. And it is a Walters mainline, and it is the BNSF Burlington still, but that green, that beautiful green I like. I have tracked it, and it's a wonderful running machine. Now, mind you, I only use DC. I don't mess with DCC. I have some reasons why I don't want to go DCC. I want to do some automation through sensors, and I like playing with Arduino platform or utilizing some other platforms to script on and load into the microcontrollers, which I hope to, as well as a Raspberry Pi, get these involved on a set. These long-range projects, okay, I plan on having this channel for quite a while. This is my, I'm not retired by any means. I just bought a business. We've been open now 6 months. Starting to see headway, which is good. But this is a project to keep me going, and trains allow me to do all of my interests, from painting, modeling, the electronics of it. As you see, I've, whoops, other side, Dennis. I have an electronics kit set up that I built to program and prototype projects off the microcontrollers and Raspberry Pis. So I will also integrate that into my building out some of my locomotives that I'm working on. And I find things on eBay and just rework it into what I want. I've started, though, a collection, if you will, of my Burlington Northern. And so I've been getting, sets. These don't always work right with my track, and so we're going to do a layout. That's another series we'll do. This is a particular car I put together. I find some units that nowadays I'm getting very picky. I try to find units that are not built so that I can build them and do things I want to do them. Now, I take and build these out, because I have a reason. Now, that one in particular is for pulpwood or other rail that you'd stack on the sides. I want to do a pulpwood yard. I have purchased a lumber mill that I will alter it a little bit to be more of a pulpwood-ish yard, I plan. So we'll see how that goes. That's in a build. I want to build out a layout with that. As a matter of fact, that will be blended in. You saw pictures at the beginning of a layout that I entered in a contest last year, the Walters contest for the National Build-Off in 2023, and I got second place for never doing anything like that. It was awesome. I had fun. It was really great. And how did I learn to do all that? Well, I've been modeling and painting most of my life. I love to paint, draw, write, build paper models, build plastic, just whatever. So, but to get into some of this, I did buy stuff. I bought books, okay? Books are helpful. You don't have, this is, yeah, they sell their product. Well, you don't always have to use their product. You get good building tips out of here. You know, trade the flyers that they sell you stuff in. They have some good little articles periodically. Again, using their stuff that you can take what they're showing you and use it on your own. Then pictures, actual pictures. I go online, I find some pictures which we have for I found one for the Burlington Northern mechanical reefer. I want to use that to help me weather and model. But these books are very useful when you want to do some of your period, or just look at how things were utilized and where were things damaged, where would what type of wear and tear. Is it just oxidation on the paint? Coal cars would have coal dust on the side, so you want to have dripping. If it's not a black, well, you'd have an off black on there, okay? Some of these little tips like that. Now, we're also going to wire when we build, but first, this book helped. To get my rusting and everything, this book actually really helped. I read it pretty fast, too. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But didn't know some of these techniques. So, it was a good book. Wiring. When we get into building our layout, we'll take and utilize techniques in there. It was really eye-opening. I play with electricity. I mean, I'm working on a book with Chat GPT 3 on electricity to break it down. Just, you know, whether it comes to fruition, we'll see. But it's so I know electricity. I've been pushing electrons since I was 12 years old, and I'm 58. So it was eye-opening on certain things on how you wire, especially DC. DCC, actually, I understand pretty easy. It's just networking, and your rail is constant power, and you're running a network and signals over it. iNetwork, IIT, you know, I'm XIT. So I understand those concepts, and I like DC. I just want to do things different. Nothing against DCC. I just want to do things a little different and on my layouts. And it's my layout, my little worlds. And we'll be doing some steampunk stuff. We'll be doing, you know, I like to kit bash. Now, going back to building stuff and the wiring, these little things to switch this, yeah, these are worthless, okay? We're going to build our own switches. And, yeah, that's worthless. They break, they're really cause problems. Not really big on the switch track either. It's kind of neat how they make them, but it also can fail easily. We're going to look at doing something different. I hope eventually to have the skill level to build our own turnouts with track. And this is the track right now. We'll be doing our first layout on a 9 by 4 foot, 8 by 4 foot piece of wood. I will have a little lift, and that's why I've got it measured out kind of a 9 by 4 foot in. We're back. Here's those, so that's the layout. It's in the dining room, and I want to put that on a board so I can actually do some stuff with it and do our first root wiring and do blocking where I can have 2 locomotives running on that track. And so anyways, so that's that. Then we'll also want to build out little things like I have for the loads of rail cars. I have a rail car, a small Cessna to throw on a rail car. We have the another loadout, a tank for a rail car. I've got rolling stock I need to build out. Another caboose for the Rolling Northern, and this has got the bay window. So, and we'll convert that. We'll make sure our oh no, we just stopped and started again, I think. So that splice, I hope, covers. If it didn't, here it is. That's a bay window. We're going to be building that out, but we'll be lighting it up. I have found a really nice way kit I like, and that I've already used on one caboose, and I've converted another one, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've got 2 cars now lit up with this setup. And it's neat. You have to do some work on it. You solder onto, well, here, let's pull this out. So your pickup wheels have this little conducting tube that rides it. So it's not a finger causing friction. Instead, it just rides there making contact. You do have to solder your wire on and feed it up to your power source. Now, what I generally do if I'm not doing anything too serious, well, if it's not too simple, like just maybe 1 or 2 LEDs, I won't add a power supply. But if I do add what I'll do is throw a capacitor in it to help it even out, so you don't get, when you get a lower voltage, it won't drop all of a sudden. It'll just kind of dim but come back up if it dims at all. So I'll show you how to do that in your circuits. But a lot of times what I'll do is build a actual power supply with one of the LM chips, 5 volt. I think I found some 3.3 volt LM chips to utilize for further projects, as well as a small little bridge rectifier that works great. So it won't matter which direction you're going, you've always got the correct polarity to power the circuit inside. There's also ways to use that directional to pick up and switch lights, which we're going to do too. Now, going on. Where are we with the introductory? We'll talk about tools and different things. Now, I like to use the particular McHenry's couplers is what I like to use. And so therefore I have a tool. Now they're very, it's like KDs and the rest of them that are magnetic, that you use magnets underneath your track and they'll couple and uncouple, which is really neat. I like that. It's fun, adds a little more fun to the whole playing. During this time, we're altering things, we redo. We have to make sure things will sit right. So you have a handy dandy tool that you sit down, and that makes sure your little whisker fits above and the knuckle fits in. So they're all lined up. This is a nice little tool. I suggest having this. And then your bending tool. You'll want tweezers, you'll want an X-Acto to be able to take some of your cars apart if you buy them off eBay and want to do some retro work. Little tools like this, they came, I work on, like I said, I come from the IT industry and electronics. They came from a laptop / cell phone work kit. Very handy too. I like that kit. Has very nice needle-nosed tweezers of various angles. Really handy tool. kit. Let's see. Another thing, those paints, which you did here. This is my paint drawer. I'm going to show a picture of that now. Okay, there's my paint drawer. How'd I do? And a lot of those paints came in kits, and they come with these neat instructions on how to do the weathering effect. Play, okay? Play on something that you don't care about. For my rusting and everything, what I did is here, I took an old unit and then worked on it. See? Play. Practice. That's what I did. For the contest, as I work on, when I work on something, come up with a way to do something, I have a practice, okay? It's similar in color. It's a shell. This is the actual unit, the model that I'll be entering, or the prototype that I'll be entering in. Or the model, I don't know what, I'm not that versed in the train, okay? I like the modeling aspect. I like the playing of it and stuff. I won't be recreating areas at the country rail when we do. I'm going to be making things up out of my own mind. Okay, that's some of it'll be on. I want to build something that'd be on another planet. You know, like Ghosts of Mars. Okay, that train, that was cool. Anyways, so we'll be utilizing something like this to practice. Okay, now. Another thing as we weather, well, that's for the other video, okay? But practice. So always have something you don't care about and practice. What's nice is buy those kits. Yeah, they're spendy, but then you'll use particular colors. You get the instructions. And you know what colors you're going to use constantly, and so you'll only buy those from then on. The techniques are great. Brushes are big. Okay, I have a variety of brushes. I buy them in kits, sets, or individuals. I've had this brush at least 20-25 years. This has been one of my best brushes. I've oiled, painted, I've just done a lot with this brush. Take care of your brushes and they'll stick around. I was fortunate to learn from an actual artist. Anton Weiss is his name, and I hope he's doing well. He and his wife, I knew them when I was a young man, and he had learned armor smithing over in Austria. It was awesome man to talk to, and so he did metalworking art, and I learned from him in doing certain things, adding things to your paint to give it more texture and fluff. It will wear your brushes out, but utilize it. Coloring, how to use chromatics to get those colors, because when you're redoing something, you'll order, like I ordered this right here. Which one's this? It's supposed to be Union Pacific. Union Pacific Armor Yellow. This is nowhere near the yellow I needed. So I had to use some purples, which is the opposite of your yellows, and knock that out. Blend it back, bring it back, maybe add a touch of green or add a touch of red, something. So you want to use your color wheel. And when we do some painting, we'll talk about that, okay? Brushes, though. Brushes are very useful, very important in your tools to have, because you're going to want squares to do just washes. You're going to want your little tiny ones to do detail work. You're going to want some with maybe just one little hair to do a person's eyeball. If you're doing people, you'll get that detailed if you want. You don't have to. That's the beauty of trains. If you want to, You have one that you just bring out once a year and put around the Christmas tree. And you put it back away. That's this channel. How far are we going to go in model trains? I plan to go pretty far in it. And I hope that y'all will follow me along the way and enjoy. Always welcoming comments on any other model trainers out there. I apologize. My terminologies will not be correct. I am novice as far as a train enthusiast. I'm just a modeler in electronics, nerd and geek, who happens to love setting up model trains and making them go and switch and whatnot. So thank you for joining me here at D-Square Trains, and peace and prosperity to you and yours.